it's 110 by 19 centimeters. This is the space I'm working with to build some storage solution for this hole. So let's go to the workshop and let's get something built. Now, considering the space I have, I don't have actually a lot of small timbers like this. I do have a 4x1, and so what I'm thinking is cutting that, ripping that in half lengthwise, and maybe I'm able to use that. So let's try that. Now that we've got a timber cut lengthwise and widthwise, the next step is to actually plane it down. As you can see, when you put the timbers on the good side, so the not cut side, look how bad that is. Look how much more it needs planing off. So I think that's the next job, is to get it all planed and looking even on all four sides. Now with the planer, I always set it to the lowest possible depth. So for my planer here is 0.25 mil, which will plane off just a tiny bit, and I'll go off bit by bit until I get them all to the same length. Now that I have it all chopped down, the fun part starts, which is actually finding the right angle to fit it in the gap. I've set this to the depth, to the size that I want at the bottom, okay? And then what I've done is I've just basically put these two together, clamped them together on the corner, and traced where I want to make my cut. So hopefully, what will happen is once I cut it, I'll be able to put it along. Let's find out if that works. So I think that's actually worked out quite okay. So if I put these two together, now bear in mind there is a few mistakes. I tried to plane this bit off as well because I don't know why I messed up the cut a little bit. But if you ignore all that, if I squeeze it together, and what I'm planning to do is just glue it all together there. One, there's a lot of glue surface, so that the glue should just hold it by itself. But two, if you squeeze it together, you can barely see the joint. And the thing is, none of this is going to be visible whatsoever. So because it's not visible, I'm actually not that fussed about the mistake. And that seems to work. That angle seems to work. I still have my distance there. Now it's just a case of tracing this on the other piece and making them both the same. I've given enough time for the legs to dry. I've even got a haircut in between that time. So the next step would be to cut the platforms using 18mm ply. Right, so the platforms are cut square and nice. They still need a bit of sanding, but I'll get to that in a bit. The next thing I would need is actually some bit of timber to make the fence around the platform. What I found in my workshop is bits of offcuts like this that can actually be just the perfect size. 32mm by 10mm stick, whatever you want to call it. And I think if I do this, right, and then I use these round edges that again have some spare offcuts, and I'll put it like that, I think that creates just a perfect enough, because I want the platform to stick out probably no more than 10mm over. Just so you can actually still put stuff on top without having to lift it over. Let's get all the fences and the walls around the platform to the right size. Okay, I've got myself some sanding to do now. So I've got the 3 platforms, I've got the 6 fences, the front fence. I've decided not to do the back fence just because 1, it's not visible, and 2, well, it's just unnecessary really. The next part would be just to sand it all down and then glue it together. So let's get to do that. The glue is dried up, and this is what the actual drawers will look like. So I've got 3 of these, 3 of the identical drawers. I've also sanded down, which I didn't show you, the actual legs. And what I forgot to show you was actually how I managed to get the bottoms flat, so it's able to stand pretty much it's not basically wobbling back and forth. So let me just show you how I quickly did it. Pretend that these are the legs that I had, okay? So, and they were standing on the edges. So that's obviously not what you want, because, well, it's not really that stable. You want it to be both of them flat. So what I did is just take a straight edge, something that's straight, and put it on the table beside the legs. What I've done is simply just mark straight there and a straight there. Obviously cut it where you marked, and that should be a flat base. So this is what I did. I've also put my choice of finish, which in this case, I don't want to actually paint them or do anything like that. I've just put Danish oil on them. So obviously sanded them down to 240 grit and then just put Danish oil on this, and I'll do the same for the legs. So the next part to figure out how to get the drawers fixed to the leg. This is going to be a lot trickier than I thought, because I don't know how I'm going to get this done. So it will be... No, that makes no sense though. Right, I think I figured it out. What I've done is, I've got my square, essentially where the piece is going to go. I've done my drawers as accurately as I think I can in terms of gaps. So what's left is marking it, taking this top off, and actually screwing them. Right, so it's worked out exactly how I thought it would be. Once I've screwed this side up, I've stood it up, put the other leg next to it, clamped it, and it seems to be now obviously standing on its own. Good way to figure out is if I put the level on, it's showing me that it's perfectly level as it is. And that has the base. And once I have that, all I need to do is just repeat it twice more. There you go. After a bunch of leveling, there you have it. There's the piece. What I've done to make sure that the drawers are level is I used two little levels. I used this level to make sure that this way the drawer is actually level. And then I had to make sure that this way the drawer is also level, which is they're both pretty much showing bang on, and all three of these are spot on as well. So that's how I managed to do it. I pre-drilled the hole so the screws slot right in, so it's nice and neat, tucked away. Last thing is to actually test it now. So let's do that. Well, I guess the final thing now is to test it and see if it fits. Let's see if my measurements have been correct. Oh. I'm gonna pretend like I haven't even tested it before the video. Wow, that fits like a glove. Look at that. Considering this is all made from scraps, for this project, I didn't pay a single penny. And the next thing is for the wife to fill it up with shit. There you guys have it, another project in the books. That was a really fun one actually, and every bit of timber I used was from scraps. If you have any questions in terms of the plans, any advice on similar things, let me know. I'm happy to help out as much as I know or can. Any suggestions for any new type of projects, do let me know as well. I have a few projects that I want to start next, so look forward to that. And if you guys enjoyed and want to see more content that's similar to this, drop a follow or subscribe if you're on YouTube, and I'll see you boys and girls on the next one. Ciao.